Hello? Hello? Ha! There we go. It's it's not a reptilian stream without some technical difficulties. Uh, well, hello there. Did you did you all miss me? It's good to be back. Ah, good to be back. You know, the alien invasion is beginning, so I was just waiting for my moment. uh, well, thank you all for joining me here. How are you guys doing? We're just getting ready here. Good, just popping up. Get more people in the stream. So I'm just gonna put these bodies up while I tweak a few things here. I'll be right back. All right. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. We have a doozy of a topic tonight. I don't know if you guys haven't seen it yet. If you could tell from the background here, we have alien bodies in Mexico that we're gonna go over here. This is some crazy news, super impactful. We're looking at it. I see it on all these different news channels. We got CBS, MSN, Telegraph, New York Post. I haven't seen Fox. Good old News Nation. All these different channels. So we're going to go ahead and run this on News Nation here. And take a look at some of this content here. And see if we can get caught up on the story. Here we go.
NASA set to release the findings of a heavily anticipated report on unidentified anomalous phenomena, also known as UAPs. Now, it comes as Mexico holds its first ever hearing on UFOs, with scientists putting on display what they claim are the remains of two extraterrestrials. News Nation's Joe Khalil joins us.
Not only one, we got double the ETs, the alien FMAOs. Interesting.
Live with these developments.
Look at her face. She looks kind of shocked, right? Look at this. Look at her face. She can't even believe what's coming out of her mouth. Now, if you guys aren't familiar, this is News Nation. They have been having excellent coverage on all the UFO related, alien related stuff that's been coming out lately with David Grush and all that kind of good stuff. And they've had Jeremy Corbell on there and all kinds of stuff. So we'll let them finish here.
These developments. Joe, this is some big news.
Yeah, Kelly, we got big news on multiple fronts here globally on the UFO story. So let's start with NASA that you referenced off the top here. Tomorrow, the agency is going to be releasing its findings on UAPs. Because of significantly increased reports and sightings, last year, NASA put together this team to study the...
Listen, you know, I like to, you guys familiar with the fake alien invasion? You gotta be by now. You guys know all about that. If you don't, check out my video. I have a whole video about it where Stephen Greer talks about it. A lot of evidence to support it. My opinion is they've backed off from this, right? That they're not going to actually do that. They don't really need to. Basically, they just want funding and money and in Congress and Washington. I mean, Trump went up there and was just like, yeah, the military, we don't got any more money. Everything sucks, so I need new stuff. That's a little, basically it's all he said, was the military was decrepit and that they needed money. Like, you don't need all this fake alien invasion crap to, like, raise the funds. They just print money. There's not much humans can do about it anyway. But, when he says things like this...
Last year, NASA put together this team to study the phenomenon, figure out what's real, what we know, and what is the UFO story. So let's start with NASA that you referenced off the top here. Tomorrow, the agency is going to be releasing its findings on UAPs. Because of significantly increased reports and...
That shit. I don't like that shit. That's basically like saying, all of a sudden, oh no, there's UFOs everywhere. Oh, what's going on? It's basically like communicating that there's an increase in activity, meaning shit's getting real, right? But shit's been getting real for the last 60 years. There really is no difference. We're just reporting it better now. We're just talking about it. And yeah, I don't know. It's a little, I don't like that framing.
Sightings. Last year, NASA put together this team to study the phenomenon, figure out what's real, what we know, and what is still a mystery. And after almost a full year, we are going to finally get that report tomorrow. Now, before that, we expect NASA officials, including the head of the agency, Administrator Bill Nelson, they will be briefing reporters on their finding as well. We are going to hopefully be there, be able to ask our questions. We spoke exclusively today to UFO researcher and filmmaker James Fox about his expectations for NASA.
Looks like this is the story that they had queued up, and they got thrown the curveball. The old alien curveball. And don't worry, guys. We're gonna get to the alien bodies, the Mexican stuff. You know what? Anything you guys want in the chat. Good seeing you. Let me shout out to some people in the chat here real quick before we kind of get too deep in the weeds here. Just want to say thank you guys for being here. It's been a while. Yeah. I've been Matt Damon shanked me in a cave. He came up here growing potatoes and shit, and he really got me, and I was injured and I had to fight for my life for quite a while. It's been a rough year, a rough season, but I want to say thank you guys for sticking out, being around, humans. You remember when I finally do conquer your planet? I'll remember all of you. I have all your names written down. You know, I need loyal locals, right, to help me conquer the planet in the first place. So I'll scoop you all up, you know, the first round. But I want to say hello to Kyla, to Rolf, and Amanda. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. And yeah, please feel free to be as active as you want. I will interact with you. At some point, I will reiterate the story and frame it, because we are going to do some YouTube clip. We'll do a YouTube segment, so y'all can wave at YouTube for that. And yeah, I think I'm feeling like I'm back, as John Wick would say. I think I'm back, baby. So we're gonna do. There's all kinds of stuff I got queued up. I got hybrid aliens. Let me see some shit I got here. Well, just a quick teaser. Let's say, and you know me, you know I like to talk about the crazy stuff. We got parasitic funguses. We got alien hybrids and them tracking them in the real world. Scary shit. We got dinosaur footprints. We got dinosaur stuff. We got sinkholes. We got we gotta talk about the UFOs, the spheres. We gotta talk about that shit. Oh man, I missed the predator aliens. God, I missed so much the predator aliens in where was that? The ones that were terrorizing that village. Oh, the Las Vegas UFO crash or whatever that was. I actually have some footage I want to review with you guys because I think I found them. I think I found the aliens in the video. So I got all kinds of stuff we got to catch up on. We got all the David Grush stuff. We got oh my god, we got near-death experiences reliving. We got a UFO that's too big to move. Oh man, oh my god, so much stuff I got queued up here. But yeah, now that I got my connection up again, we'll get back to it. So, all right, let's watch some more of the video. I'm gonna wind it back a few seconds, and here we go.
Here, we are going to finally get that report tomorrow. Now, before that, we expect NASA officials, including the head of the agency, Administrator Bill Nelson, they will be briefing reporters on their finding as well. We are going to hopefully be there, be able to ask our questions. We spoke exclusively today to UFO researcher and filmmaker James Fox about his expectations for NASA's upcoming report tomorrow. Here's what he told us.
Initially, my expectations were somewhat high because of the statements that Bill Nelson's been making, head of NASA. He was making very compelling statements on the difficulty to explaining some of these unidentified aerial objects that defy physics as we understand it. You know, he acknowledged the tic-tac. He said he'd met with the pilots and that they couldn't explain what that thing was or where it came from. So then when I found out that they were not going to have access to the classified files, my expectations lowered quite significantly.
So we're anticipating that. Meantime, there is this in Mexico this week. Congressional hearings focused on UAP sightings, much like we had in the U.S. Congress back in July. And this right here sort of stole the show. This is according to a prominent Mexican UFO journalist and researcher. These are two non-human corpses, both at least 1,000 years old.
You didn't think you would hear that shit today, did you? You're on your way to work. You ate your bowl of churros. You had a long day at work, you know. Jerry. Hold on one second. Let me do my human voice. I need you to come in this weekend. Fucking Jerry, right? You don't like Jerry. He's a dick. He's at work. Samantha, she also sucks. She's terrible. You had a long day dealing with these jerk-offs. But you didn't think when you came home you would hear that headline, did you? Oh, I bet you didn't. Mexican lawmakers hold UFO hearing unveiling alien corpses. Holy shit. 1,000 years old. Here we go, brothers.
Discovered in Peru back in 2017 and then fossilized. Now, look, there is a lot of skepticism here about whether these are real, whether this is legitimate. We ourselves can't verify any of this, so we are skeptical about what we're seeing here at News Nation when it comes to the origins of these things in this video. Nonetheless, these displays were a part of a legitimate Mexican congressional hearing. Ryan Graves, the former Navy pilot who actually testified before the U.S. Congress back in July, he was also there sharing his story and his experiences with UAPs, Kelly. So, I think a lot of work still having to go into whether or not these things are real. Mexico's Congress debating whether they're going to be enhancing a law that would essentially make Mexico the first country on earth to say explicitly that they believe in extraterrestrial life. So a lot happening.
Mexico. All right, sorry. No, Mexico. Let's go. Aha, yeah, hell yeah.
Just south of our border there, Kelly.
All right, you can understand the skepticism. Joe Khalil, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
News Nation, boys and girls. Good shit from them. Let's see here. The NASA report will be let's say some comments. You know, I don't know about you. I like me some YouTube comments. Let's take a look here. The NASA report will be a letdown for those hoping for revelations. Yeah. That's probably the case. Unfortunately, even if you think this is a hoax, you have to admit it's quite surprising that accredited North American universities like Lakehead University in Canada, Harrisburg University in America, and a number of major medical diagnosis companies would agree to associate their name with this presentation. Yeah, that should pause the knee-jerk. Now, okay, let's talk about some reactions to the surface level thing. Yeah, the new moon rush. Yeah, the new moon rush. Ha! This is like, the dams are breaking open. You know, I did predict this on Mike's show. I did say that either nothing's going to happen at all, or they're going to start rolling this out. And it just seems like, you know, insider-wise, I heard that there are groups that want the truth to come out, and others that do want the truth to, don't and do. Yeah. And for various different reasons, primarily money. I heard the new guys aren't done milking the new technology yet. You know, think about it. If you were handed an iPhone 50 years ago, you could you're basically a billionaire instantly, right? You just need to do the right stuff with it. And so this technology that we're reverse engineering is so advanced. There's so much innovation, so much value out of it that you could milk that sucker for another 100 years. A couple 100 years. But I have to imagine all the old heads are already rich off this, and they want to come out. And yeah, so pretty crazy stuff. Let's watch a news article about this from another thing, and then I'll chime in here. No sound with this one. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Okay. Here are some let's talk about this and get a little bit more information here. Now, is this true? Is this the most important day in human history? I mean, is it? Is this the most important day in human history? I don't know. What were you doing today? Anything interesting? Did you do anything special? You might remember this day for the rest of your life. You might tell your kids, Mommy, Daddy, what were you doing when the aliens came? Well, little Timmy, I was butt naked in the house. It was a hot day, and I was eating Cheetos. And I remember seeing it on all the news and thinking, what the hell is that? That's bullshit. Right? So that's the reaction I've been seeing. I've been seeing a lot of people getting super excited. A lot of people thinking, it looks like crap, right? It look like what is this? Did they find E.T.? Did they find him? Did they find his corpse? Is that his friend? Huh? Did E.T. not make it? It looks surprisingly like E.T. Let's grab some pictures here. Here we go. Here's a picture. Yeah, check that guy out right there. Yeah, it looks kind of like E.T., right? I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. There's E.T. phone home. You remember you're getting probed? No, I'm not there yet. Just wait. All right, so let's talk about the anatomy of these things. I actually do have a really good video I want to kind of go over with you. I think this guy does an excellent job. Here it is.
Welcome to the
This is quite a long video, so we're gonna kind of skim through it. But yeah, so check out this guy's Chris Leto. Excellent. Subscribe to him, please. He does a really good job. This is the first breaking news I saw of this, and he does a really good job of kind of going over some of this stuff. So we're going to skip around here. But just to kind of gloss over, we are talking about the alien bodies that were unveiled in Congress today. All right. Say hi to YouTube, guys, because we're going to get we're getting ready to do a little bit there. So, yeah, these are 2 alien bodies that were unveiled in Congress, Mexican Congress today, claiming, and this is him swearing on the books here. This is perjury if untrue or if he's lying, but supposedly found these 2 bodies. These 2. Let's see here. Let me grab the. Where is it? I have a really good background with this. No, I don't like. So I have so many articles. A lot of these articles are a little too skeptical for my liking. No. Here we go. A journalist and researcher on an unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Not just that, just a bunch of stuff. Or UFOs, as they're better known, presented the remains of purported non-human beings. Ooh, non-human beings. Today, Tuesday, and Jamie Musan brought 2 boxes containing what he said were small stuffed bodies of extraterrestrials recovered in Peru in 2017. He said carbon dating carried out by the National Anonymous University of Mexico. So this isn't just some guy bringing in like some lawn gnomes, right? Like some calcified lawn gnomes. They're very small because they ran out of Play-Doh. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of Play-Doh. It probably smells like shit too, right? Like, that's why they got them in a boxes, to suppress the smell. Could you imagine if you go up there and you smell Play-Doh? You'd be like, this son of a bitch. You know, but anyway, so no, there's some actual evidence for this, believe it or not. Hold on, let me lay the case out. So he said carbon dating carried out by the National Anonymous University of Mexico had determined that the remains were 700 to 1800 years old. Each of the figures have only 3 fingers on each hand and elongated heads, resembling, at least superficially, the Hollywood-born character E.T. This is the first time extraterrestrial life, is presented in such a form, and I think there is clear demonstration that we're dealing with non-human species that are not related to any other species in this world, Masson told the lawmakers, urging them to consider the topic, which he said would not be viewed as a political topic. It's a topic for all of humanity, which you'll soon be conquered by me. But for now, you know, you guys can have your fun, you know, have fun, do silly stuff, find aliens, you know, be destroyed, you know, things like that. He said DNA evidence could prove the specimens were not of this planet, but it wasn't clear if any such tests had been carried out. At least one previous claim by Masson about purported non-human remains discovered in Peru has been debunked, though the specimens he presented Tuesday in Mexico appeared to be different. Yeah, so he previously, okay, so this is throw a little shade on, a little water on this fire. He had previously came to public with previous remains, much larger humanoid kind of creature with 3 fingers as well, but it was not, it turned out to be a hoax. But with that being said, these are 2 different specimens. Again, there are 2 of them. Kind of looks like old Oriental figurine. I have heard stuff like that. Babies. Okay, so some interesting anatomy about these things. Let me get a little bit to that. They have 3 fingers. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna let this guy do it.
Channel. I just can't believe it. I'm blown away right now. I couldn't even get down here fast enough to start recording. This has happened. This has literally just happened. Here's the hard evidence we've all been waiting for. We've all been wanting. If it's true, where are the bodies? Here they are. 3 fingers. like E.T., the movie E.T. If we look at some of these, I mean, the similarities are just ridiculous. It has a retractable neck. The neck can go up and down. There's only 3 fingers.
Shit. What? Oh, that is too. Oh, that's kind of sus.
They have eggs inside. I mean, the whole thing is just unbelievable. And they've already done DNA testing. They've already DNA tested this thing. And they say with 90% certainty that it's not human. And then 50% certainty of, flip of a coin, that it's not from this earth. 1,000 years ago, found in a Peru mine. Thank you so much for being here. Please smash that like button and share this to get this information out. Amazing stuff.
Aquí hoy vamos a presentar 2 seres que fueron recuperados en Perú en una mina de diatomea. Son cuerpos desecados encontrados entre las ciudades de Palpa y de Nazca en 2017.
Okay, so Jaime, here you can see him talking trash that, hey, they're looking for the biologics and you want all your evidence, but here it is. And he does a weekly show on Mexican TV, right? He's huge in South American world. So here he's talking trash. And then they wheel out these 2 coffins, man, these little coffins. So this is found in a mine, basically a mine in Peru in 2017 is what he explains.
Han sido investigados profundamente, tanto por investigadores, periodistas, como por científicos.
So let's go through. Actually, this guy relates about the bodies. Let's see what he brings up. Okay, so that they confirmed over a year of supposed DNA testing. So they have X-rays, digital tomography, carbon-14 dating, forensic analysis, biologic, genetic, all of those things. Okay, so this is a great part here. So he actually did the analysis. This is a biologist. So he goes through here. They're covered in a white powder. The white powder is a mix of diatomaceous earth. There it is, diatom powder, and allowed the bodies to basically not fall apart. Look at that, man. It's amazing. So the large eye cavities, look at the large head. They said the head is different from ours. The brain is actually more of a box state. So they applied the carbon-14 test, which uses radioactive dating. Said it's an average of 1,000 years old. So basically the place where they're at. So the bodies, they were found an ideal place for their conservation. And they were in diatomaceous earth. Luckily, it sounds like somebody put them there. They say the mouth, like that site is in Peru. They can only drink. This is interesting right here. They had this breastplate. That reminded me of Mario Woods. You remember Mario Woods said that the aliens had like this glowing breastplate. Here they say it's made of osmium. Osmium. The bone structure. Here they talk about the bone structure. Perfect harmony and agreement between the joints, whatever that means. Don't our bones fit into the end of our other bones? Oh no, that must be different from us. Look at that head shape, man. It's ridiculous. So they MRI'd this thing. That's an MRI scan right there. Look at that. It gets stranger. Like those are birds. They said the actual bones. Okay, he's going into the head now. It's large in its proportions compared to the body. And long and skinny, right? It's a pneumatized skull. What does that mean? Spaces that allow it to be very light, but rigid and resistant. With great intracranial cavity. Okay. So that shows it was a material.
Interesting. So, all right. So you know what we're gonna do here? We're gonna kind of. I'm taking notes here. We're gonna like paint a picture of this creature here. We're gonna get these details. Then we're gonna start cross-referencing these details and see if we can find this thing in some ufology, right? Like maybe some abduction stories or something like that. Let's take the lizard angle, right? But, everyone's always doing the surface level crap. I like to dig a little deeper and try and figure stuff out. So, they're claiming that this breastplate here, this thing is metallic. of origin. It's not biological. That somehow this plate or whatever was infused into the body, right? This is an MRI through the skin, which has a lot of ramifications that we'll come back to. We're gonna come back to all this kind of stuff and kind of go through it. Let me know if you guys have any ideas, or if you've heard any other stories or references we can kind of cross-reference this with. We're gonna look into this stuff and we're gonna dig a little deeper. I think if you could just be a little open-minded and dig a little deeper, you end up putting some shit together. You know, like the like you know, we talked on Mike's show about the hybrid alien dude that had 1,200 guns, $250,000 in cash. He was found dead in his car for 2 weeks. All this kind of weird shit, right? And so you cross-reference that with Dr. David Jacobs and some of this other stuff, and you start able to paint a picture, right? And that's what they don't want. They don't want you to know how long they've been behind the scenes, knowing about stuff, getting stuff done. Like, how much has your phone changed in the last 10 years? If they've had this technology for 60 years, who's to say the government didn't know all of this 50 years ago? Know all about these aliens and what they are, where they come from. So one of the things I want you to keep in mind is that a lot of these so-called aliens that we interact with, these traditional grays and whatever, are actually biological beings that are created, right? These aren't the aliens. These are the product. These are the slave workers. They've taken other beings and used DNA splicing from humans and from other things, and created these slave worker force that we've heard about a lot in all these abductions. So anyway, we're gonna continue here, but we're gonna get into it. We're not gonna let this woo barrier stop us. Okay, we're gonna go full fucking left field.
A container for a material neurologically very large. Okay, the spaces of the eye orbits are very large in size, standard, which would allow a very wide stereoscopic view. Very small nostrils, interesting. They say it can't.
Look at that spine, huh? Look at that. That's pretty cool. You see that? Look at that spine. That's pretty interesting. It's like all right, I have a theory, and I've been trying to think of the word for it, and I'm going to unveil, you know, we don't have a lot of viewers currently, but I'm going to actually coin a term, and I'm going to kind of let you in on a little secret here. A little theory I've been coming up with is that once you embrace technology, once you go out into space, your evolution changes, right? A lot of these races supposedly can't actually create reproduce. That potentially, even though these are manufactured beings, this is the dominant sort of thing, is manufactured beings are the thing that you need to make to go into space and this and that. That humans are an outsourced evolution, basically. Think about it. All right. Humans have football games. Think about how weird football is. You have high school students and college students participating in this physical activity, kind of like gorillas competing over females, and they're cheerleaders and whatever. And those are supposed to be peak mating, and a lot of those people breed and have kids. That's basically a breeding ritual, and humans have kind of cultivated these traditions to make sure that they are physically adept, right? We have to survive on our planet that's pretty vicious. There are monsters, literal monsters around there. Just with, you know, COVID happening, viruses, shit's trying to kill us all the time. And that the survivors are strong. They are, our DNA strengthens over time. It's basically an AI algorithm is evolution. So if you are a race that has abandoned this process, your genetics will weaken over time. So what you can do is you can harvest genetics from these zoo planets that you've created and use them to strengthen your DNA routinely. It would explain why aliens have not destroyed everyone yet. Right? There's value there. So let's continue here.
Chew, like it doesn't have a mandibular joint, doesn't have like teeth. That the diet was by swallowing and not by chewing. So they drink their food. It's gross. Is that why the cows are all empty of blood? The head at the middle floor of the skull. Let's look at that. They were talking about this is a rarity. So in primates does not occur since the union is in the posterior floor. So that's interesting, right? So basically it's a different genetic makeup. All mammals basically have the same number and bones in the exact same order. You and a blue whale have the same number and bones in the exact same order. It looks like this would definitely be different. You should be able to tell. We should be able to tell if they're mammal origin. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so he brings up an interesting point there. Every mammal on the planet, we all have the same number of bones and in the same order. So a mouse, us, and an elephant have the same bones, cervical bones, just in different sizes, right? Even a bat, right? It has the same fingers as us, but now its one finger is really, really long. But we should be able to tell easily and quickly by this, and it looks like it's not mammalian related, right? So not mammalian. They actually say in here reptilian or bird-like. So just seems like totally foreign, as in alien, man. This is alien. This is it. This is it. Holy shit, man. Can't believe it. Amazing stuff.
This could be it,
Look at
guys. Let me see what you guys think. You know, they're doing this MRI. They're doing these genetic tests, right? Is this real? Is this it? What do you think? Come on, place your bets. All right, place your bets. Come on down. This is your local lizard carnival. Come on down, take a shot. What do you think here? What do you think? Well, come on. I'd like to hear it in the chat. What do you think? It's still a good old CNN joke. I love it. I like it. You know, this the cover. This thing has been covered by Forbes, CBS, New York Post, The Telegraph, blah 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 blah. Mainstream media, huh? Like has thoroughly covered this. So, you know, I think this warrants more investigation. Currently, there's enough evidence to suggest something's here, and we have to wait. But fuck, guys. I don't know. I think this is gonna be it. It's gonna if this is it. This is a rocket. We're gonna be on a rocket now, and that's it. Shit's gonna get crazy. People are gonna cross-reference this thing. So if there's any validity here, this is gonna push the dam open. You're not convinced? Okay. That's fair. I'm not convinced either, you know, but I'm not unconvinced. Yeah.
That, man. And just of 5 cervical vertebrae, okay, which were small in their bone thickness, but have a disc very wide intervertebral.
What the fuck? What is going? Look at this chest. You see this? What the fuck is this thing? Look at this. See how it's got these bones? But then, are these like modifiers to allow it to breathe? I think this is technology. Look at this. Look at this. This is sort of human, right? Look at that. It's kind of like this, and then just all this shit goes out the window right here, man. It looks. Imagine if there was no head. They just thought this was the face. Look at these big googly eyes. It looks like ET, so we're comfortable with it. Yeah. Where does either we've been pre-programmed, either someone knows something, or they're taking advantage of our familiarity with it, right? One or the other. It can't be anything else. It's got to be one or the other. Good point. But yeah, but look at this. This is definitely some plate. You could see that's different, but you could see the muscle and then the bone, right? Like, wow, that is really interesting. And then this collar sticks way the fuck out here, and it's almost like it was shaved away or something, or to get these things inserted. See that? They're perfectly right up against there. Wow, fascinating.
Which makes it possible.
You know, these little details, this random shit right here adds validity to it. You don't just like randomly do stuff. Like that's interesting. And then the ribs here, like, as we look at this thing has a shit ton of ribs, okay?
That this neck was retractable, like a turtle.
What the fuck? What did you just say to me? Okay, I'm a lizard. All right, my neck is not retractable. Okay? All right, so don't ask. I don't want to hear it in the chat. All right? No. My neck is not retractable. But other things are.
Listen to that. So you could have a retractable neck like a turtle, like ET, man. Okay, also here on the shoulder blades, very broad, gives mobility capacities, and in the thorax, the ribs are complete. This is very interesting. Continuous. They go all the way around. It's like a tunnel. Like ours, it's almost like they don't need to breathe a lot. They don't run ever, or, you know, they're winded. I can't imagine they'll be able to just run long distances.
That's a good point. You know, the anatomy of this thing, it doesn't seem like it's very physically capable, right? You could fuck this thing up pretty handedly. This is the not the body of a physical powerhouse. This is the body of something that relies on technology. So I don't know.
In the abdomen, let's see how it gets weird there. And this gets even weirder, man. The presence of 3 eggs. Let's watch that in the abdominal cavity. Crazy stuff. Look at the hands here. So no thumb. You don't have a carpal tunnel, right? Remember, for all that we're saying we're so smart, that's why we're here, because we have the thumb. They don't have a thumb. Look at that. They say they would wrap it around. They'd wrap it around like a bird. Man, these things are like, it's like bird.
This title's
reptile things. That's creepy. There's Ryan Graves. He spoke, as well as Bob Solis. He's taking notes there, Bob Solis.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. A few things there. Let's get to the Bob Solis here. I have some notes on that. So where is it? Ryan Graves, the executive director of the Americans for Safe Aerospace Organization, told the Mexican politicians that he founded the group after recognizing the need for action and answers. Yeah, he was present. Was joined in hearing in the Mexican Congress. He also was there was the lower chamber of deputies by a former U.S. Navy pilot who recently made a similar case in Washington. Yeah, so that was Ryan Graves. We believe that the UAP represent urgent priority for both aerospace safety and scientific inquiry. He said Tuesday, our focus is on improving public education of UAP, breaking stigma, and working towards transparency and disclosure. I will say, transparency and breaking the stigma is happening. That is happening. It is becoming cool to guess what the fuck is going on, right? Like people, you know, people all over taking shots. They're covering this stuff. Obviously, there's just still a little giggle, right? It's a little silly, right? Of course. But we're getting some more mainstream attention all the time. Very fascinating. Now let's refer to the fingers, right? These fingers are. I grab. Let me see. Anyway, the traditional 3 fingers of an alien, right? And no thumb. What I want you to do right now, as you watch the stream, look at your hand. Okay. Now I have long, scaly lizard fingers. Very talented with them. But I'm talking about your traditional human hand. Pick something up on your desk. Okay? All right. Now, make sure it's not a can of water or something delicate. Now, remove your thumb. Take your thumb, remove it, tuck it above your hand. Now, hold on to that thing. Fucking weird, right? Okay, that's what they do. All right? Now, if you're going to do something like that, grab something smaller. Now, grab something smaller with your fingers, with your disgusting human fingers. Wrap it around the object. Remove your thumb. Okay? Something like thinner. And then remove your thumb. You need the leverage of long fingers to wrap that sucker up. That's all I'm saying. These motherfuckers got long fingers. So let's keep going.
Oh, look at that body, man. Looks just like E.T.
Oh, no.
Amazing stuff. Here's your x-rays. Let's look at this.
It won't save you.
Organs, man. What organs can you even fit in there? Reaching the extreme.
Now, that is important to talk about. What organs can you even fit in there? Exactly. That's why I believe these are engineered beings. They are created, they are grown to do simple, smaller tasks. They have quick expiration dates. They don't have a lot of room in there. Like he said, they don't look like they've evolved a bunch of stuff that they need to survive in harsh environments.
Extremities. Complete harmony and agreement. Look, so they always say that this part is shorter in aliens. You know, that always comes up, that this is longer, this is shorter, and then this is a weird, like, one piece kind of thing, which that's what it looks like here. And they don't have a thumb. Look at that. No thumb. For all our talk, we're so smart with our thumbs. Look. So how would it hold things? It'd wrap around.
Stupid
and the 3
fucking
eggs
humans.
inside. That's just insane, man. They said it was in a permanent gestation state. Permanent gestation state. So talking about the hands here, the phalanges, bones of the forearm. Yeah, arm and forearm, that's always a thing. Umbial bed for the nail. So they look under microscope. I thought this was interesting as well. That they have, man, it's like a full body, full alien bodies in perfect. It's only 1,000 years ago. That's not that long. And they were dying.
Now, let me hear. Are you guys becoming more skeptical or less skeptical as we go through this? Let me hear what you guys think. It's pretty interesting, huh? And thank you again for joining us. If you're not subscribed, please do so, and please throw up a like. I will be streaming more, and we will get a lot more viewers. I promise. I know how to get my way on the internet. I've been hacking your government mainframe for a while here, so I appreciate all you guys for coming in early as we start to get ramped up here again. We're gonna release some videos, edit some stuff, get some more music. Kyla, we got some more music for you. So we're gonna keep going here. But yeah, are we becoming cyber biodrones? Says Rolf. Good point. Exactly. What the fuck is this? This doesn't look like something that could survive. This looks like something like, let's say there was like, I think a pug could take this thing on. How many pugs do you think this thing could take? 2? 3? Like, let's say there was a group of these things, okay? And you let a dog into the room. Like a German shepherd. It'd be a masker. I'd be a freaking masker. This is not anatomy that can work on this planet. So keep that in mind as we go through.
And look, no, it's just, no genitals. You just got 3 creepy eggs in there. Look, it's pregnant. Oh, that's so creepy, man. Look at that. Oh, man. Here you go. Here's your woo, everybody.
Notice are they eggs in the back? Got some junk in the trunk, right? Look at that. That's the back, right?
Eggs. Oh, man,
let's
that's
back
your
it up.
woo, everybody.
Yeah, that looks like the butt. They got some eggs in the butt.
Everybody, there's your eggs. Oh, oh man, that's so creepy. And look, the arms almost hang almost to the ground. Look how long the arms are. These are some weird.
Good thing these things aren't big, huh? That would be fucked up. A big version of this would be pretty scary.
These are some alien creatures.
You wouldn't want that under your bed.
Look at that. And it looks exactly like ET. Like they knew. They had to know. Our government knows.
Exactly. Now this guy is totally in. All right. This guy is on board. All right. We're going to watch a little bit of this. While we're watching this, I'm going to scoop around for some interesting connections here. So, yeah. Again, this was found, just a little background on this. These were found in a mine. The origin found in Peru in 2017. Anatomy. So let's keep going.
Oh my gosh. Is this gonna be it? Like
this guy's
gonna push it?
fucking
is this
tripping
gonna push
out.
us over the edge? Is this?
You know what? I love it.
I mean, that's hard evidence. That's what you guys wanted. And you notice it's not a craft, right? The craft is the technology. Man, I bet that's locked up in your vaults making weapons. But the bodies here, pretty hard to say you're making weapons out of bodies. So here we go. All right. So 70% of the genetic material matches what is known. And they said they got 3 samples, a neck, a hip, and a leg, I think. But there's a 30% difference. This is from the neck one. There's a 30% difference that they couldn't correlate. So of that,
all right, so let's
70%, it was mammal.
30%.
5% of the.
So this 30% is more significant than you would think. It's actually so like the difference between a human and an ape is like 3% or something pretty insignificant. Whereas there's no animal basically that has a greater gap than like 15% or something. Like the difference between you and a slug is like 10% or something like that. Something like that. So 30% is significant. That means that the genetics that they're mapping, 30% is just unknown, which is basically virtually unheard of. So claiming that this thing has been genetically mapped, this is not just that's a pretty significant claim. We're gonna have to see. That's basically the main thing. You could not have the body. You could just have that, and that would be a pretty significant thing. So that's probably the biggest piece of evidence for this, and we'll have to see if that stays how it is. But it looks like an alien baby now, not eggs. You know, during these abductions and stuff, and they always say that these aliens look like children when they're in the room. They're standing over your bed, looking at you. They always think, oh, it's just kids, little green men. I'm pulling up some of these experiences now. So, but we'll get into that in a second. Let's stay on with the actual evidence we got.
70% was bacteria. Differentiation less than 15% would indicate. So something more than 30%. Basically, they can't identify 30% of it. And they say that is, at the moment, says it's not human. They analyzed the other sections and found that there was actually no human interaction there. No human. Okay, it goes here. In conclusion, we can say that the bodies and has irrefutable differences with what is described in biology and taxonomy of the Darwinian species evolution tree. Amazing. Without a common or traceable predecessor. Amazing. And without evolution yet described, I would say so. Those are just amazing differences if you think about it. These bodies are 100% real, he says, organic and biological. They MRI'd the eggs and said it's organic, and they said the fetus matches a human fetus. Oh my gosh. Are we facing the paradigm of describing a new species? Can't imagine. Or the opportunity that we've been in contact with other beings, not humans, that were here and look just like all of the things that people have been saying they've been seeing. What is the odds? So this is either an amazing hoax with faked DNA data, or it's a legitimate thing, and we've finally seen.
Yeah, so let's add a little bit more information about this. These aren't beings that were found after a UFO wreckage. They were found in the Datum mines and were later fossilized. So that's why they look kind of how they do. Masson testified under oath. Masson is the UFO researcher that brought these in. Now, just a quick reminder: Masson did bring a previous corpse into the public spotlight that turned out to be a hoax. Apparently, he was not aware of this, and he was just kind of got duped himself. But that does add a little water, throw a little water on the fire. That being said, this is in Congress. There's a DNA test. I don't know. There's 2 of them. So people are saying these are chimeras. These are manufactured, and not like when they were live, manufactured as in for the hoax. But they have been DNA tested. So yeah, let's get back to the story. Masson testified under oath. Whether they are aliens or not, we do not know. But they were intelligent, and they lived with us 1,000 years ago. They should rewrite history. We are not alone in the vast universe. We should embrace this reality. Now, let's talk about that for a second. What if they're not aliens? That would mean that they're just here. These beings, these things are here. Well, there with you. On Earth somewhere hanging out. And that these 2 died. And yeah, who knows? So let's finish this up a little bit more.
Here at a hearing in Mexico, where they roll out 2 little boxes, little coffins with aliens inside them, real aliens. Man, unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. Jaime, my son, thank you so much. And he says, hey, come down to Mexico. The evidence is there. You can look online and look at the actual DNA sequencing to check out real alien bodies. Oh my gosh. And it looks just like what we're thinking. And they are strange, man. They are weird. I recommend you guys go and watch Christina Gomez's show. This is the actual biologist. He talks about sequencing of the sample in question. So massive sequencing. They spent over a year on it. He stayed here. It was done in Canada. He didn't mention the exact lab that did it, but he mentioned labs in Canada, around the world. They sent fragments of this and said, DNA this. Man, maybe that's what it took. Like, we needed our technology, our DNA technology, because how could you confirm that this is real in the past? You know, before DNA, how could you confirm it?
No, that's a good point. Like you guys said, this thing looks like a fucking lawn ornament. This thing looks like something made with Play-Doh, you know? Now, keep in mind, there's this powdery substance on it to preserve it, right? And that does make it look a little bit less true. And if it is an alien, it would atrophy in weird ways before it became mummified. But oh yeah, would you be the first human to eat this thing's eggs? Well, okay. Let me lay out a scenario. Okay. We take the DNA from this thing and we create beings. Okay. We create these beings. We recreate them like fucking Jurassic Park. Okay. I'll be Hammond, the scientist. All right. Come see the aliens. You know, we create a park and we have these little guys. You can come and like wave at them, and they're kind of like super intelligent, but they don't know shit, right? So they're kind of like, they don't know shit. So it's not like they're flying ships or something, but they're kind of smart, and mankind's trying to figure them out. But you know what? They just keep popping out these fucking eggs. Just eggs everywhere. Eggs, just every day they're just making eggs and popping them out. just throwing them up or whatever. I don't know. Eggs everywhere. Then, you know, one guy's like, his job is to get rid of the eggs. Oh, man. He accidentally drops it. And, what's that smell? It smells delicious. So one day, you know, he's a bit of a weirdo. Let's say this guy's name is Steve. He smuggles one of these eggs home. And he cooks it and he eats it. And he finds it's fucking delicious. So Steve starts smuggling all these eggs home from Jurassic Alien Park. And he starts eating it. And then he gives them to his friends. And they start loving it. And then word gets out that these eggs are the best thing humanity has ever had. What happens next? We start breeding them. Just so we can have there's egg farms come up overnight. Everyone's trying to get their hands on it. And then finally the Chinese do. And that's it. You know, we have whole continents where these things are bred. But they're intelligent. And they learn to fight back. They want to keep their children. Their little eggs. And then, yeah. The next alien-human war. War of the eggs. Think about it. Could be next year. War of the eggs. I'm predicting it.
Now our science is at a level where we can tell. Look at that. The breastplate, they said it's made out of osmium. There's weird metal things built into the skin. And again, this is all things we've heard. Mario Woods said that they had that glowing dark chest plate. You know,
Mario Woods. Thank you for the content. Mario Woods. I'm gonna look that up. We'll get to that in a second.
There was no, they're in like skin tight suits. They're smaller. I mean, this is basically exactly what he's saying. Kind of gray skin, tight. And the eggs in there. Oh man, amazing stuff. This is it, guys. This is it. This looks like it. Wow, so exciting. Ryan Graves was.
This is exciting. I know that you guys are highly skeptical, and I agree. You know, we should be, but this is very exciting. This is this could be it. You know, oh, man, Mario Woods. Here we go. I got a little story we can get to then. Yeah. So looks like you guys. Do you guys know each other in the chat here? Rolf, Kyla. Bunny, hey, hello. There we go. That one's better. Hello, Bunny. How are you doing? It's good to see you. I'm back, baby. Yeah, I am back. Don't worry. I ain't going nowhere this time. I gotta ride this alien wave all the way home. You know, I gotta keep the hype up. Y'all can send me a fucking shuttle here, so I could get the hell off this godforsaken planet. Mars sucks. All right? So, hopefully, after all this disclosure comes, y'all could take me home. That's what I'm counting on. So, let's continue with this. Money, you hear about these little Mexicans? Little Mexican aliens? Huh? Yeah, I've missed you guys as well. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere this time. We are going to produce some content. We are going to get fucking crazy with the woo. You guys missed my alien theories, remote viewing, all kinds of shit. We're going to get right back into it. I've been practicing my psychic powers too. The other day I was talking to someone else, and I was like, all right, guess what I'm thinking. Literally the first word, barn. Guessed it on the first moment. Insane, incredible. But we're talking about two little Mexican aliens, okay? That were presented to Congress, 1,000-year-old, three-fingered, egg-laying, mummified alien remains. Let's keep going.
They're just killing it. Bob Salas out there. We're all just pushing super hard, and it looks like it's finally making a break. Check out the video. Link is in the description. Please like and subscribe. Share this video to get the information out, man. It's so exciting. Just blown away. This week just totally turned around. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, support the channel. Go to patreon.com/Chris Slater. You get first notice on any of this and backstage content, as well as become.
Right. Good stuff. So that was Chris Leto. Thank you, Chris Leto. You're great. Subscribe to him. You know, unsubscribe from me. Get rid of that lizard. He sucks. Get this man on here. Look at that handsome face. Oh, yeah, he probably smells good. Oh, man, I'm hungry right now. Oh, okay. All right. What were we doing? Oh, Mario Woods. Let's say this is he was mentioning this whole thing with aliens, and Mario Woods saw these aliens. So, you know, this is a long ass video. So we're gonna try and skip around here and get a little juice out of this. You think they're fake? It could be. We'll see. We'll see. Basically, if they have some scientific evidence, it's going to have to be checked by other scientists continuously until it's validated. Or the government's just going to nuke that whole fucking place from orbit. You know? That's possible too. So, and then we have the NASA UFO thing tomorrow. I will be around for that. So, let me find out when Mike goes live. I don't want to be on the same time as Mike. Even though that is going to happen. Because that motherfucker's always live. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's get into this Mario Woods story. Now, before I get into the Mario Woods story, let's remind ourselves of the hype that we're going, right? We got some hype going on. Remember this story. Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist, and Trump knows about it. Remember when this story came around? Just to add a little validity, what the fuck is going on here? This is a former Israeli space security chief. He was saying that a lot of these objects are ours, and that we work with aliens, and they gave us tech and all kinds of stuff, and we have a base on Mars. And Trump knows about it. And this story was huge, and it went everywhere. I'm going to grab this one and log this one for the books. This will be part of my fuck you. It's evidence kind of thing where, you know, there's a lot of skeptical people, even still. Obviously, you could be skeptical of these bodies, but generally, you should be open to the idea of aliens after all the evidence that's been piling up here. But yeah, remember that? We had that story. We had the Tic Tac UFOs, Commander Fravor. We have David Grush. We had aliens in the backyard. We had Vegas aliens, literally fucking aliens walking around and shit outside in the backyard. I think they were Spanish too. I don't know. It's a good year for Spanish and aliens. But yeah, we had all that crazy shit going on. Now we have bodies. What's next? I live stream my ass? Maybe. So let's get back. Let's look into this Mario and Luigi. We're gonna see. Oh, Chris Leto. Oh, there it is. This is on his channel. This first thing comes up. So let's see him describe. Yeah. Okay. Nah, we don't care about his background. Communicating like. Okay, so let's see a little bit about his encounter. You guys interested in this? You want to see what this guy claims that he saw aliens, and they pretty much were exactly what we saw in those bodies. You guys gonna watch this? What do you think? We're interested in this. We can move on to the anatomy of the aliens a little bit more. We can get into that. We could look at all the news coverage. All these different places. Okay. I got a sure. That's good enough for me. Let's do it.
Walking out the door and how this all happened. That's today. It's been decommissioned.
Okay.
And rancher uses it to process his cattle on now. And then the last couple of years, and I didn't have a picture of that, he built some type of a metal building, but he made some type of a building there where I guess he works on about 9:15, even though I was on duty at 6. That was our first day out of the 3-day tour of duty that we would be doing. And I just stepped outside to smoke a cigarette or just take a break for a minute. And when I did, I looked to my east. I just walked out there and looked around. And to my east, I see this light above the horizon about 30 degrees. And so I watched it for a few minutes, and its luminosity was really different than anything I'd seen. It just didn't look right, and it didn't look like a bomber light or a B-52 bomber light or anything, or what was that on a helicopter. We had Super Blackhawks, but I don't remember them ever flying at night. So I really don't know what their light patterns were like. The B-52s, yeah, because they did low-level flying sorties.
Just to recap, this is Mario, who worked on a military base. He had an experience with ETs that look almost exactly like the 2 Mexican alien mummies that were unveiled today. And just to kind of gloss over that, in case we have new viewers here, I will play this video from Twitter.
Posterior.
These 2 alien mummies were unveiled in Congress, Mexican Congress.
Autónoma de México, alrededor de 1000 años de antigüedad.
So, supposedly this Mario guy had a encounter with beings that look exactly like that. So we're just quickly getting into this. I'm going to speed it up here. He's a little bit of a slow talker. Don't want to be waiting around all day here. Playback speed 1.5. And let's see how this goes.
At some nights, and they get down, pretty low. But anyway, I see this object, and I thought, well, what is that? It's not Venus, it's not a moon, but it was large, meaning that if I extended my right arm out and I held my hand straight out like this, it would cover it. I mean, of course, there'd be light on this side, both that side of my hand, but it would cover the height of it.
Wow. So that's really big, though. I mean, that's really big if you think about it. If you're holding out, it's much bigger than the moon. I mean,
in close proximity.
Yeah.
And I just thought, what in the world? And then I closed my fist, and it would illuminate around my fist. Of course, I was trying to gauge its size.
What color?
It was between like a white, an orange, and with red hues. It was just so stark. It was like no light I'd ever seen. You know how sometimes if you've never seen an LED light, I know there's fewer people that haven't seen them than have. But I'm just saying, these newfangled headlight or LED lights have that intensity that'll blind you. You can't even look at it, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't like that, but it was extremely bright, and it was different than anything I'd ever seen before. So that's what drew my curiosity to it. And I was just saying it was 5 to 7 miles away, just by what I've been taught, in security police tech school, about identifying aircraft, day or night, or the distance.
And Michael Johnson didn't seem to care. That was so interesting.
Oh, no. Well, I was out there alone at first. So
okay, that's it.
I'm going to try something. As I said before, our father, he was a merchant seaman, so there were several times when I was younger I got to sail with him, and mostly in the Atlantic and up northern ports and that kind of stuff. But it was really cool to be 13 years old and go on a ship for the summer with your dad, a big ship. Well, and it popped back on, and our phone goes off, and I hear it. It's you got to pick it up. It's one of those kind. It's extremely loud. You can hear it from the front of the site back to the back of the site, and so he picked the phone up and he was talking to one of the officers downstairs, and he said, "Yes, sir, sit for November 5, which is a high level alarm." I said, "I'm telling you, that's that craft." So then it got real quiet, and there's only one stop sign and
we're skipping around here. I'm trying to get to the good stuff.
And they're both on Highway 79 on your way to Sturgis from the north. And so we pull up to the stop sign, and that road is called Ormond Road. You can stop, and I roll the window down, and I had on one glove on my left hand, and I didn't have one on my right hand. And there I grabbed my black aluminum flashlight. And this mitten that I had on my left hand, it came down to my middle part of my arm, and it singed into your parka, and it had 3 fingers and then 1 finger exposed and that kind of thing. So you could use your, functions of your hand. But I climbed out that window and sat up on the windowsill like a scared monkey. And I grabbed onto that blue light, and I took that black aluminum flashlight that I had, and I held on to the blue light, or held on to the bubble on top of the vehicle. And I flashed this thing, my little flashlight, this immense gargantuan object that's beyond measure in size. I mean, I'm almost looking directly up at it because of the circumference of this thing on this missile site. Where we pulled up at that 45-degree angle, that was our big tactical move right there. Nothing can defeat that.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah. And,
what did it look like? You have it drawn here.
Yeah,
kind of red.
Honestly, it looked like a mini sun, but the surface of it stayed very close to itself. It was almost as if it was electrically charged in some way. A perfect sphere, but energized. Don't know what was in it. It had no leading edges. Had no. There was no windows. There was no thrust channels. Anything that I could see like that. Nothing. Just an absolute perfect sphere, and I mean perfect. and
Totally uniform.
brighter than you can even imagine. I don't know what its power was, but it had a pile of it. But anyway, I pulled myself up on that seat, on that windowsill of that dark blue 2-wheel drive Ford F-150, and I flashed this black aluminum light at this thing. No sequence. I don't do any sequence. I couldn't even think about an SOS, really. And I flashed it 4 or 5 times, and all of a sudden something changed. And I don't know. I was like, okay. I slid back down on that seat, and I grabbed my M16, put it between my legs. And I remember turning to the left and I looked at Michael Johnson, and I said, Michael, it's going to be okay now. And he didn't say anything to me, but he was just illuminated in this. I don't know what was on the left side of the vehicle, because he was actually closer, to the thing than I was by whatever the cab width of that truck was. And I felt a calmness and something else at that time, but I just grabbed him the barrel of that gun, and I just kind of tried to face forward, but I felt something over here on my right-hand side. And I don't know how I can describe this, but I knew I had to look to that side, but I was so afraid.
And you mentioned you felt a calmness.
I did. I
yeah.
did. That quickly evaporated into what was on the right side of me. But when I first sat down, I felt this calmness. And then he being bathed in that light the way he was bathed, I guess I was too, because you could see stuff that you could never see before. That's how penetrating the light was. You close your eyes, you could see through the tops of your eyelids, literally. I mean, and all these thoughts just run through your mind in flashes of a second. I guess the survival flight kicks in, all of a sudden this thing is in front of the windshield, bouncing around like a ping pong ball, but it was about 5 times the size of a beach ball, and it's black. And it had these lines in it that were from top to bottom. I don't know if they were vents. I don't know what they were. But this thing just shot left, right, up, down, around the side slowly, and then just was gone.
Okay. Looks like it's right out the front of the window. I mean, it was that close. It was just right across on the other side of the window.
Yes, it was right on just on the outside.
Imagine seeing.
And then around this thing black.
And you said it had like lines on it.
Okay, we're skipping ahead here.
Yeah,
We're skipping ahead. We're skipping
right here. Kind of, and that's. And the smell. Now,
oh wow, what the hell?
Photo, just processed, what I saw. That we call.
You saw the beings to your right. I mean,
okay, here we go. Here we go.
How far away? I guess
the money shot.
It's at night. Are they standing in snow? Or are they like
more than 10 feet? They're walking toward me.
Are they walking in the snow? You can tell, or
I don't know if you call it walking, but yes.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't know if you?
Believe me, the last thing I looked at was her feet.
Yeah.
I mean, just the process, what I saw was just what I was seeing was just.
Okay, this is what they supposedly look like. Oh God, what the fuck? Oh, wait a minute. There's like a bigger one. There's one that's different than the others. Huh? Yeah, you see that? One that's different than the others. Look at this taller insectoid looking one and smaller drone looking ones, right?
Very, very difficult to just describing that process of seeing. And the one on the far right, they had on these uniforms, and they were black or a dark gray, and their color is, I want to say like a bluish hue to them. And the smell. Now the one on the right, the taller one, I could only get 2 on.
I'm gonna get right to it. Right. Let me take a guess here. They smelled like pneumonia or sulfur. Here we go.
That first paper, it was 3 small and 1 tall. But the one on the far right, he had a uniform on, but his head was shaped different than the 3 in front of him. And he was extremely menacing looking. And I don't know, I don't just base that on how his face is constructed, but he did not look kind at all. And believe me, when you ever have that happen, or you ever have something that's that drastic occurred to you where someone scares you that bad, that's not even the right description. But that scared me. And there was not one daggone thing I could do about any of it.
Insectoid.
And I just blacked out. Now, I don't know if it was induced by them or not, and I continued to hear
100% induced by them.
Do not fear, but it wasn't in words. Mind you, my window's still up.
I just see them moving, and
there's water driplets on the window, and then
Okay.
with tunnel vision coming in like that, I just have my M16. I don't know what else to do, and when I looked right and I heard that "Do not fear," it was as if somebody just kind of turned the lights down low, and that was the last thing I remembered from that point.
Amazing. I mean,
Mhm.
especially after this last week of news, and it looks like it really does look like the U.S. been hiding all this information.
Of course they have.
So, of course, and people like you have been saying it for decades, literally, and no one took
I
any
had,
notice. No one
remember,
believed you.
as I said before, I had a security clearance, of course, in the Air Force. I got out in '83, and then in 84 is when I went to work for the U.S. Department of Energy at the General Electric Neutron Devices Facility in Largo, Florida. So you had to obtain a Q clearance.
Smaller guys, right? You said around
That's
how
correct.
tall were these things?
Really?
Nation trusted you to
Right.
guard nuclear weapons, and that's the Q
So-
code. I luckily didn't have to get a Q code. We almost did. We almost had the strike mission
Interesting.
while I was there. They did get the strike mission for F-16s,
That's
which
some
is dropping nuclear weapons from
credentials
F-16s, which is about
that this
one of the
guy
dumbest things
has.
I grew up
Okay, all
talking
right,
about.
shut up.
Actually go back. I remember I saw part of the OPM officer let me look at some people they had spoken with, because we moved a lot. I mean, and that's one of the things that took my
OPM is Office of Personnel Management, right? So the security officer, I guess.
So, okay, if you're just joining us, just to kind of get back to it, and then we'll come back to this. Today, a ufologist unveiled two potentially alien-ish cryptoid-looking creatures in Mexican Congress today that were supposedly preserved, mummified, that are 1,000 years old or more, and were found in a cave. They have 3 fingers. They are really small. They have metal chest plates underneath, and one was found to have eggs. These things were scanned, and they are biological in origin, except for those metal components. And supposedly these are aliens potentially, and yeah, this has been blowing up everywhere. There's a lot of weird information about this. They are covered in a white powder to preserve them. Your brain is more of a box state. They have a retractable neck like ET. They have bones like birds. Their bones and joints are in perfect harmony, the doctor said. I don't know what that means, but and that every mammal has the same amount of bones in the same order. That includes whales, humans, all sorts of different mammals. That this thing does not. This is more like a reptilian or a bird, but it has a 30% difference in genetics from anything on the planet. So this was found in Peru in 2017, and it's carbon dated to be 1,000 years old. They have genetically sequenced it, so there's a lot of credibility riding on this. They pledged to Congress that they're not lying. They can be plagiarized for that and all that kind of stuff. So there's a story that of beings, and we're gonna go right here, that look very similar to the description. We're cross-referencing what we're seeing in these bodies to something that may exist. Where the hell a little more there, here. So these beings are beings that he saw. One taller creature with these other ones that are less menacing, and they had chest plates. They were small, very similar to what they're talking about. Now I'm going to fill in some gaps here that you may not be aware of. In a lot of abduction scenarios, especially the ones with Dr. David Jacobs and more, there are certain hierarchy of aliens. In the abduction phenomenon, which has been thoroughly researched, there are sort of a hierarchy where at the top of the hierarchy, these insectoid creature-looking things. And if you look at this picture that they generated based on this guy's testimony, whistleblower testimony, Mario Woods, it looks like sort of an insectoid, whereas these little ones kind of look like a childlike hybridization of humans, them, and other shit, right? The theory, at least my theory, is that these are manufactured beings, and that these mummies that we're taking a look at right now let's get a bigger picture right here, that these are not real creatures. These do not exist in any nature on any planet. So yeah, that these are manufactured beings that we discovered from 1,000 years ago. This could be version 1.4, and the ones that Mario ran into could be the iPhone, the iBleeblop 5.6. I know this stuff sounds crazy, but you have to keep in mind, this shit is alien. You don't know it's alien. Like you're not gonna understand. It's not gonna just be intuitive and make sense to you, because these are beings with different morals, different genetics, different brain structures. They're not gonna think like you. They're not gonna act like you. They're different, and they have different policies on how they do things. So they could be engineering their crew, their subordinates. And we're starting to we're just getting started here. We're throwing some evidence at the wall here. We're painting a picture. So let's continue with this guy's story here. So these aliens come out of this craft, walk over to his thing, passes the fuck out.
They came from across that road. So I think in hypnosis, I think there was another craft across the road, a smaller craft. I don't think they just walked over there, because they approached my vehicle from the north. How did they get there? See, we're at the cattle gate, the beginning of the side. Well, when they approached the side of my vehicle, they came from my right to the north of me. So how did they get out there in that field? And I studied that hard when I was out there filming for Discovery Channel. Of course, they wouldn't get down to the site. We were about 50 yards away from it, and they just looked at an open field, pasture area. They wouldn't do it because the man had built some building there, and they thought they'd have to pay him, I guess, if they photographed his dadgum building. So we're looking at an empty field, which, we filmed all day long, and they used 8 minutes of it. It was me crying on the side of the road. Well, I made something, man, that really impacted me a great deal. And when I went into hypnosis the first time, that's when I went into AFib, and I didn't even know it. I never knew what AFib was until that happened.
Can you explain that, or what happened?
Well, it's an erratic rhythm of your heart. The bottom's doing something, or the top's doing something different. So they have to literally stop your heart or give you some powerful drugs to slow your heartbeat down so it synchronizes again. But that hypnosis session really kind of bothered me a great deal when I did it. Dr. Upton. And
the information bothered you? Like what came out of it?
Just what I was seeing, just what I felt and saw, because it's just not sights. You get feelings. I remember the smell that I didn't really think about that much before.
So what was?
Yeah. Oh man, this smells like sulfur pneumonia. I have never seen this before. I've never seen this before. I've never heard of this before. Sulfur and pneumonia.
Was the smell from hypnosis, right? So not.
Yeah, iodine.
It was iodine smell.
Mm-hmm.
So just like in Virginia, the same thing.
You know it then, don't you?
Pneumonia, basically. Fucking called it. You know what else smells like pneumonia and sulfur? Demons. I'm not saying aliens are demons. I'm just saying that if a fucking creature like this was standing in your room in the middle of the night 300 years ago, smelling like sulfur, what would you call that thing?
In Tampa, Florida, I was raised primarily there.
Time to wake up.
My father. And we always, had live shrimp or dead shrimp, but we always had shrimp. And they always had that smell to them. And that night, that smell hit me like a brick in the face. And I guess in the proximity or something, because I don't remember how close it actually got. I was blacked out. But I want to say, in that belt, I don't know if it's a he, she, whatever it is, there is a rod right there with a yellow tip on it. Now, I couldn't draw that very well, but the tip's larger than that. But that thing is glowing. It's like a gold color, gold yellow. Again, going over to the other being to the right, you see the chest plate right there? He had his chest plate, and that was probably 4 or 5 inches across. And it was shaped into it wasn't a wedge or a diamond, but it was like the bottom half of an octagon, half of an octagon. And I just studied that for a moment. And this rod, I don't know what was done. I don't know. They never got that close to me, but at that particular point, but I don't ever use that many but it kind of bothers me. I never really think about this sometimes.
And they have uniforms. You know where they're matching uniforms?
I couldn't see the entire
Military?
uniform of the taller one, but I know the sleeves were larger. Just a basic, it was a bigger being than the ones in the front. So it was wider, more square. Uh, the hands that I saw were not quite like that. I mean, I'm not a hand artist, but they were very different. And mine are your hands, and I don't know if that's a correct depiction of what I saw, but it's close to it.
Oh, really? So,
Yeah.
so it was definitely a different species.
Oh yeah, there was no doubt about it. The three in the front were exactly the same, uniform the same, with the exception of the one on the far right. He had that raw.
Now, these beings are described as being a hive, a collection of different beings. Supposedly, insiders claim that the CIA and different organizations have different allegiances to different extraterrestrial groups, and that the CIA believes that we are being hybridized, the abduction phenomenon, creating hybrids, genetics, to join the hive mind group. Something like this.
In his belt, and he was, I guess he was leading the way.
Meaning a portion of us that are in the know and our decision makers want to fuse, they want to become part of this hive. Some Borg shit. They're like religious zealots that want to become part of the Borg. This is the exopolitics that potentially boiling just below the surface. Crazy shit. But we are talking about alien mummified bodies that were revealed today. So how crazy do you want to get today, huh? Now, we're talking about these Mexican bodies revealed, non-humans, potentially aliens that have been carbon dated 1,000 years ago, that were found in a mine in 2017. They have 3 fingers. One had eggs collected on its body. This is a strange creature. It had a retractable neck. It looked like E.T. It was very tiny. And there are 2 of them that have supposedly been genetically sequenced, and they are not related to any shit we have on this planet. So we are reverse finding out, is there anything else that fits this description? And we're going back to this Mario guy who has had this experience with these beings, and certain things are starting to check out here. So let's continue listening to this.
Way or something under the direction of the one behind him. And as I blacked out, that's the last thing that I saw and remembered. And the next thing I know, I opened my eyes, which seemed just for a second, and took a deep breath and opened my eyes into total darkness. And I went, where'd all the light go? Where's Michael? Where are we, Michael? And he didn't answer me. So I looked at him and I said, Michael. No reply. I pushed him. I said, hey, man, what's wrong with you? You okay? And he didn't answer me. He didn't look at me. He didn't do nothing. He just rocked with what I just did. I took my finger and poked his face. And he was just stuck to the steering wheel.
Are his eyes open?
Yeah, he's breathing. His eyes are open. He's just he's like he's not there. But the energy that he was using on his hands, I really, from the passenger side, I couldn't pull his hand off the steering wheel. I went, Michael, come on, man. Come on. And as I was doing this, I said, man, what is going on here? So I just opened the door up and I stepped out. When I stepped out, I put my foot down in mud and my bunny boots, of course. And I went, where? It was so confusing. And so I'm standing in mud. Michael Johnson won't speak. I can't get him to do anything. And then there's a white wall to my right.
Interesting.
That's at about a 45-degree angle. But it's as far in either direction that I can see. At that time, I didn't know north from south or east or west, you know. And all of a sudden, the radio cracked to life. And it said, WSC on November 1, do you copy? Well, that was Wing Security Control back at Ellsworth, which is located 55 miles to the east of November 1. They have the overall say-so under the direction of security police personnel in the missile field. And they, of course, work with, base functions and any security measures that have to be taken, sending out a QRT team or investigators or anything like that for something to happen. And he said it twice. And I said, Michael, you're going to get that, thinking somehow reason he's snapped out of this stuff, And he doesn't answer. So I picked the radio up and I said, Senior Airman Woods to Wing Security Control. I said, I'm here, you know. And he goes, where are you located? And I said, sir, I don't know. He says, are you okay? And I said, I am. But I said, my partner, I said, Michael Johnson. I said, I even said, you know, it's our first night we ever worked together. I said, he won't respond. He said, well, what's wrong with him? I said, I don't know, sir. His eyes are open and he's breathing. He's just glued to the steering wheel. He won't let go of the steering wheel. He won't talk to me or anything. He said, well, I need you to make 1 minute security checks and continue.
See, he mentions disasters and dreams, nightmares. Have other people?
Yeah, we're gonna skip ahead
after
here.
such encounters, like other people after such encounters. Does he feel that he was selected to communicate a message to mankind? Have these dreams continued? I guess. What are the dreams like? You know, are you in the dreams and an earthquake's happening, and you know, basically it's you looking out, and then there is a nuclear war, there is these terrible disasters.
It's so real sometimes. Like a nuclear explosion that I wrote about, you could feel the heat coming off of it in a dream. Yes. Wow. Tidal wave, and each time, like I'm standing in the direct path of whatever's getting ready to happen, and I wake up prior to this line. Oh my God, because there's nowhere you can go. There's not one thing you can do to survive it. And in your dream, you know it, but in your dream, you're in control. I'm not going to die in my dream. You know.
So do you know you're in a dream when these happen, or?
So supposedly this guy's been having premonitions.
Absolutely.
Lucid dreaming, essentially, some sort of lucid dreaming.
So now, Linda Moulton Howell.
But man, it's
good night, Kayla. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Please join the Discord, our community. We're actually gonna wrap up here soon, but yeah, I think we're gonna be streaming more. We're gonna be releasing more content. It's gonna be a little bit more organized. We'll get a little streamlined here. So please like, subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned because I'm back, baby. The lizard is back, and I'm ready to talk and stuff. So anyway, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Well, like I said, we'll be doing more content here. So I'm going to be doing more short form content where we're kind of hit a topic from a few different angles and hit it in a way that nobody else is. What is telepathy? What is the soul? I'm going to actually cross-reference different things and try and figure these questions out instead of just posting crap and being like, wow, isn't that crazy? No, fuck that. We're gonna get into stuff. We're gonna go in the woo. We're gonna go in the weeds. We're gonna have some guests. We're gonna do all sorts of stuff. So we're gonna pay people to enhance images. We're gonna get some psychics on here and try and see if they can flex their skills. We're gonna do all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, we're gonna do some Jedi magic shit. But for now, we are talking about these two Mexican aliens. It's not a good way to describe it, but these two aliens were mummified potential alien remains were revealed in Mexico. Now, this guy has a history of the poor guy behind it who's involved, has a history of falling for BS in the past, right? As he unveiled a previous corpse that was not real, was a hoax. But this time they supposedly had different scientists and institutions involved where they tested the genetics and found that it is something of weird origin. It had eggs, 3 fingers. What I mean, I have a list of weird shit about this thing. Retractable neck, like E.T., a metal glowing breastplate that a metal plate under its chest, and we're cross-referencing that story that just came out today with this guy Mario Woods, who supposedly interacted with aliens that look very identical to what we're talking about now. So we're gonna continue with the story a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about whatever you guys want to talk about and wrap it up soon. Thank you for joining us, and please like and subscribe.
It's almost at will anymore, though. Itself, not me.
So did they stop, or how long did they go on for, if they did?
Been going on a very, very long time. Still today.
Going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And, it's funny to wake up and remember a dream. A lot of people can't do that, but just something, I guess, over the years I developed it, being able to do that for me,
Yeah. So I guess, they asked, do you feel that you were selected to communicate a message? Have these dreams continued? So the dreams have continued to this day.
Yeah, they have. I don't know, honestly, what the message is. I've not caught on to that part of it yet. But, a lot of people you talk to about certain things, they, with all the stress and strife and the political nature of the world today, I don't think I need to broadcast any of the stuff that I see. Although I am a prepper, by the way, and you know what that entails. So I don't know. Something's always pushed me to be able to go beyond, the today's niceties that we have at any point in time. You just don't know how close it could actually be. Where your location is, what kind of food supplies you have, water supplies, and security measures and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we have. When you're back in the car, do you remember if you were having difficulty breathing when when you felt?
Oh,
pulled back?
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so it was like literally the air was just totally removed.
It was as if it was, first of all, the intensity of, I guess maybe they're a type of a race that has different needs for another life form. I wouldn't have my seatbelt on. You're supposed to be in charge of this whole situation.
Why are you still alive? That would be my question. It's like, wouldn't they just get rid of you? Why would the aliens even bring you back? Do you think they?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that is up to them completely. There's nothing that we can do to change that. I guess maybe they're a type of a race that has different needs for another life form, but yet has a respect. Okay, has a respect for other life forms to maybe look at it like we do, a rabbit in a lab or a mouse in a lab.
This is so one of the theories is that these, okay, so tying this back to the mummified aliens that were discovered today in Mexico, these things did not have like teeth in a sense where they could chew and eat food, that they could only drink their food. So there's a theory that cattle mutilations, abductions, there's sort of a blood harvesting component to this, where they are harvesting resources from humans and animals and creating a mixture for their food. This is something that I've heard many times. And maybe when people are abducted, one of the reasons why aliens haven't come clean is because human blood tastes freaking good. And look, they're intelligent. They view us as sentient and they don't want to kill us. But goddamn, maybe we're just too tasty. And as a reptilian, I'd have to agree. Yeah. So let's keep going with this story. So that's an interesting cross point right there.
And then return it back to either in the lab or put it outside in the bushes and let it roam free. I don't know.
And yeah, and this again, this being you said was quite intimidating. Was it just the size, and it was just so different? I guess. Can you describe why it was different? I've heard insect mentioned, like insectoid or something.
Could be. That's what Robert Hastings and I.
Bam! Who called that? Huh? I'm all over this shit. Got him. Insects. Insectoid.
Could be some type of an insectoid or something like that, but it didn't have the.
Here's what I argue. Even if these alien mummy things turn out to be something else, right? We're on Twitter right now, right? A Mexican government released the photos, 1,000 years old. These aren't the real aliens. These are these are the made ones. The insectoids are the real ones. And potentially, if you've ever seen Men in Black, the real enemy. There's an old 60s movie that depicts giant insects as aliens that invade the country. This is a hive mind thing. These beings, these insectoids create these little grays, and these little grays are like little biomachines with some sentience and work for them. And maybe these things we found, these mummies, are those biomachines, or their ancestors or some shit like that, right? So anyway, this is a guy's encounter with something similar to the mummies that were found today. So we're just kind of getting into this a little bit. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe. We're going to be covering all sorts of weird, crazy shit. So we're not going to just do aliens. We're going to do remote viewing and all kinds of stuff. And yes, I am a lizard. But I'm the good kind, you know what I mean?
He didn't have the skin texture of that from what I could see in the facial features. Now the facial features on the three small guys, their skin was smooth and almost shiny, like not plastic, but something like that texture. Or I didn't feel the faces. I'm just saying what it looked like from a distance. Their faces did not seem to be dulled out. They seemed to be bright and very smooth. And the tall one behind them seemed to be rougher and old. You know, like either insectoid, I guess you call it, or even a reptilian, I guess.
And the hands, you said they were different.
Yeah, those hands very different. And,
very different. So not like our
the,
normal jointed hands, like
no,
totally different.
And I tried to draw that out, but from the elbow up to that wrist area, that area was really large, like a calf muscle would be in your leg for some reason. And then the hands were, you know, that's not a really good depiction, but it's as close as I could get. I think there were only 3 fingers, and then the other part of that thumb was, I guess, or some kind of an appendage was on the backside. I can't remember that.
So like almost like claws, kind of, sort of.
Something, but it had a thumb on the inside. So I'm sure, even though it was shaped like that, it has some type of control. I mean, these beings are so far advanced of us, man. It is just incomprehensible, regardless of what they look like, internal, external, what they do. I mean, they've been doing it so much longer than we have that it is unfathomable to us that a life form, you know, could be this old. And the technologies that they've derived from other elements or that we know of, or other ways and means to gain power to traverse where they're going, is just phenomenal. Because that craft was no joke, man. There was so much energy there. You could probably power this planet off that one ship. That was looking back at it now, what I know now, that thing was just indescribable.
And so what is this? You drew a little shoulder.
It was like an epaulet or something that was around that, on that shoulder top part.
Huh.
You know, I know it looks kind of strange for how would something else, you know, not dress as we do, but yet have a decoration for a shoulder or something on the chest. I mean, it's got to be for identification, I guess, within their own species. I don't know, but.
And what was this uniform?
Excuse me?
What was this uniform? Was it different? It looks green or something.
No, it was black also.
Oh, okay.
They were dark. Both were dark. You know, the small guys and the bigger guy. It was more like a charcoal gray, dark black, to the best of my knowledge.
Huh. And then this thing, was it pulsing? You said it was just. You said it's the same color.
Yeah, same color as the tip of that wand right there, and it just stayed on. And you know, it was probably when I first saw their silhouettes is when I first heard "Do Not Fear," and it's in the way "Do Not Fear" is put in your body. It is so clear that you've never heard a stereo system play that way, or I don't care, Bang & Olufsen $10,000 earbuds, you know, don't even come close to the way this sound is put in you. You know, had somebody been speaking to you like this all your life, it would be it would just be unreal to know the knowledge that you would know, because you hear every word and you hear everything like never before. There was no sound in the background blocking out anything that I heard. Or that "Do Not Fear" was probably the clearest ice bullet I've ever heard in my absolute life. And I heard it more than once, and later found out that Michael Johnson heard it also. And as I said, there's no verbal speak there. There's no sound there. It's just in you. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it's coming from the middle part of your body, from the head down. It's just, you're like, all of a sudden you're a receiver, and you just turn into like an antenna, whatever they're broadcasting.
And did it make you fear less or fear more?
Look at him. Look at his physical demeanor. He's disturbed. He does not like this. Look at his face. Yeah, I feel sorry for this guy. Definitely had an encounter.
Yeah, it did calm me. It did calm me. Yes, sir, it did.
It did help.
Immediately. It took just the suspense of, hey, what do you think's coming next? You've been through all this, and all this happened in just a fraction of a minute. You know, from arriving to climbing out that window, to sliding down in that seat, to being sucked in the back of that cab of that truck, pressure, can't breathe, look to your right or look straight ahead. There's a big ball bouncing out there. You don't know what that is. Never seen one before, never heard of one before. What is it? And then start to pass out, and your partner's lit up like a blast behind him or something. You look out the right window, and you've got these never seen before beings from somewhere else strolling toward you. You know, and you're trying to think about this. My partner, he's frozen to that steering wheel. I mean, the last thing that I would ever do would have been to raise my weapon. That'd have been the stupidest thing that a human being on this planet could have ever done. And I didn't want to be that stupid person. I don't even think I could. What am I talking about? I don't think I could. I couldn't have used it if I had to. There's just that much power put on your physical presence that it is just overwhelming to try to comprehend and to deal with.
Okay. And
the smell of iodine, I'm gonna tell you that smell, you can hit me with that anywhere at any time, and you have my complete attention because they smell like iodine.
well, yeah, just like Virginia. On the face, on the large being, can you? Because it seems like gray's pretty common, or at least we've heard many descriptions. How would you describe this thing? Were these eyes different? Quite different?
They had a more, they didn't have a big oval. They had more of a diamond shape. That's what I try to portray on this right eye. It was straight angles, and then it went up over and then circled at the top of the eyelid itself in the eye. But its pupils were very, very large, real large.
Oh, I see. So these are like big pupils.
Yeah, their pupils are very large.
Wow.
I didn't draw this until after a certain period of time. I kind of worked on different parts of it at a time, but the eye and the mouth, and you see that mouth. I mean, I never saw them open a mouth, but they had a mouth.
So this, what did it look like? So they had a large nose here, or was there a nose, or just?
It was protrusions, but it was like two small protrusions in the slits. It wasn't a nose that just stuck out like a big nose. It wasn't like that at all. But it was just two small protrusions, and then they were, from what I could tell.
Wow. And are these ears or something? Did it have some sort of?
That area, the eyes, is real sunk in, kind of like the face of what an owl would be. I don't know if you see where an owl's eye is located. They're
Yes.
kind of sunk in, and that's really what I concentrated on. When I saw that, I didn't even know how to process that at all. And it was just
no hair, I guess. And the color was the same, or
its color was a little more grayish, brownish, or something like that, perhaps. As I said, you're talking 1 o'clock in the morning. 90% of that body was covered up, but the face.
There it is. There's an insectoid. Now, we're going to do a whole show on insectoids, and we're going to basically lay out what I think these things are, what they're up to. And I don't have all that information on me currently, but we're going to get into it. We're going to look at these things. We're going to find consistent information, abductions, stories. We even have some photos of potentially one of these things and what they do. And we're going to try and get some evidence for this and see what's up. But yeah, so we're going to leave it there. What a day, we have these two mummified remains of potential insectoids, or I'm sorry, of these aliens. And yeah, crazy stuff. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed our little moment together. We haven't streamed in a while. We're shaking off the rust here, so we're gonna be back. We're gonna be keep doing stuff, and yeah, pretty exciting. Yeah, we're gonna get into all sorts of stuff. We're gonna watch some crazy stuff. We're gonna get back into it, baby. The lizard is back. And yeah, I just want to thank you for joining us. I appreciate your time, humans. Well, I will eventually destroy your governments and conquer your planet. But for now, I will be your favorite lizard on the tube. And thanks again. And yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Keep track of this this story here. We're gonna keep track of it, and you should too, of these two mummified remains of these humanoids that are not of our normal taxonomy, right? So 3 fingers, eggs, metal chest plates, all kinds of stuff. And we're talking about here, you know, insectoids and all kinds of stuff. Find all the interesting stuff here. We're going to be talking about remote viewing and all this kind of stuff. Tomorrow, we will cover the NASA thing. If it's a nothing burger, we will parlay into more interesting shit. So don't worry. I will cover that. I'll give you the scoop. This is not a hoax confirmed. It is not real confirmed. There is substantial evidence. So we'll see how this plays out. This might have been the greatest moment of mankind, or it might be yet another dumbass moment of mankind. Time will tell. Thanks again for joining us, and I will see you humans later. Ah, man, sleep tight. Maybe I might come see you.